From the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage live on the ECC network. The first game of our East Coast Conference doubleheader this evening features the College of Staten Island Dolphins taking on the Mercy College Mavericks. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, and I am bringing you coverage of tonight's game solo as we welcome you in to the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, of course, one of our great sponsors here at the College of Staten Island, and tonight they sponsor our pregame show ahead of our women's basketball matchup against Mercy College. But for all of those who have tuned in to our last broadcast earlier this week, the Dolphins picked up their second consecutive win as they defeated the Pace University Setters last time out on Sunday. Tonight, the 2-4 Dolphins go for their third straight victory. As for the Mavericks, they enter action today with a record of 3 wins against 3 defeats. Mercy took the win in both meetings between these two teams last season. The Dolphins will hope to avenge that pair of losses. The Dolphins come in led in scoring and in rebounding by Jenelise Alarcon. She's averaging just over 13 points per game and grabbing a tick above 9 rebounds, not missing an average of a double-double by much. Ashley Lambert behind her in scoring comes in averaging just shy of 11 points per game, and she continues to shoot it at a nearly 35% clip from beyond the arc. However, the most notable Dolphins performance in Sunday's game belonged to Lizzie LaFaro. LaFaro is shooting up above 56% from downtown on the season, and on Sunday, LaFaro scored a career-high 17 points in the Dolphins' victory over Pace University. She joined my colleague and broadcast partner on Sunday, Nick Durst, for a post-game interview following the Dolphins' victory. Katie Wall comes in leading the Mavericks in scoring. She is averaging just shy of 15 points per game, and right now, she is the only Maverick averaging double digits in scoring. However, Kayla Havrelson has shot 46% from the field and 42% from downtown on the season. She has scored just over 7 points per game off of the Mavericks bench. Overall, Mercy College has shot the ball only 35% from the field on the season and 33% from downtown. The Dolphins hold a distinct shooting advantage coming into tonight's game, shooting 41% from the field and 36% from beyond the arc. So the Dolphins perhaps can look to their advantage in the shooting department this evening to gain an edge in this evening's matchup against Mercy College. Tonight is the conference opener for both of these two teams. As I mentioned, the Dolphins come in with a record of 2-4. The Mavericks come in with a record of 3-3. Mercy has won 2 of their last 3 games. I mentioned the Dolphins are winners of back-to-back games. Mercy dropped their last game at Assumption University. That game was also played on Sunday. As I mentioned before, the Dolphins took on Pace University here at home on Sunday. The Dolphins picked up the win in that game by a final score of 54-50. And with about a minute and a half to go before the introductions of starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem, we will step aside and take a short break. This has been a very brief McDonald's pregame show here on the ECC network. But on the other side of this short break, we have an NCAA Division II women's basketball matchup coming up next. College of Staten Island taking on Mercy College after this short break.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path, we become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive to achieve every goal we aim for because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
And we are back from the tank. Once again, this is Joe Foreman joining you from the College of Staten Island. I will be on the call solo this evening, and as starting lineups are being introduced out on the floor, I will give you the starting lineup for both teams ahead of tonight's game. First, for the visiting Mavericks of Mercy College, their starters in numerical order. Number 1, Tasha Bender. Number 3, Katie Wall. Number 5, Sarah Hopkins. Number 15, Maria Tedesco. And number 21, Asia Talib. The starters for the College of Staten Island in numerical order. Number 2, Ashley Lambert. Number 3, Noemi Masinge. Number 4, Kaya Johnson. Number 13, Jenelise Alarcon. And number 14, Lizzie LaFaro. The Mavericks are coached by Scott Legis in his 5th season. The Dolphins are coached by Nicole Sarcone, also in her 5th season. And Coach Sarcone has to be happy with the way her team has played each of the last 2 games. The Dolphins picked up a huge victory last week over Wilmington University. They then picked up the win on Sunday over Pace University, avenging a loss to the Setters last season. Dolphins come in looking for their 3rd consecutive win, and a big reason why the Dolphins are in search of win number 3 in a row is that they've played far better in the second halves of games. Early in the season, games got away from CSI in the second half. Each of the last 2 timeouts, the Dolphins did a very good job in quarter number 3, holding on to leads and then protecting those leads through the 4th quarter of those 2 games. The first, of course, a big lead over Wilmington. That game wasn't really much in doubt following the end of the first half, but on Sunday against Pace, the Dolphins held the lead late and were able to hold on to that lead throughout the duration of the second half on their way to win number 2 on the season. The Mavericks come in looking to bounce back from a loss last time out. As I mentioned, they fell to Assumption University by 15 points. The Mavericks defeated the Dolphins twice last year. They'll look to make it a perfect 3-0 against the College of Staten Island. This is meeting number 3 between the 2 sides all time. Of course, both teams members of the East Coast Conference. For each team, this is conference game number 1 on the season. And we are set for the opening jump. Alarcon will jump against Tedesco. And we are underway from the tank. Dolphins and Mavericks from the College of Staten Island. LaFaro running the point for Staten Island once again. She's assumed point guard duties for much of this season as Masinge has it stripped away. That was taken away by Asia Talib, an early steal for the Mavericks, an early turnover for the Dolphins. Bounce pass into the corner for an open Talib, who knocks down the mid-range jumper. Early 2-0 lead for Mercy College. LaFaro gets it over to Lambert. She will use the LaFaro screen and floats one up toward the rim. Off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Tedesco. Sarah Hopkins drives to her left, and she lost it on the way up. It will remain Mavericks basketball. .22 on the shot clock for Mercy College. And they will get an open corner 3, no good. That was Katie Wall on the shot attempt. Mavericks' leading scorer entering action tonight. She is closing in on 1,000 points for her career. This is Alarcon. Out to LaFaro. Left open for 3. Splash! And the Dolphins lead it 3-2. I mentioned it during the pregame. LaFaro shooting up above 56% from beyond the arc this season. Talib hands off to Wall, inside of 20 on the shot clock. Wall's floater, no good. Tipped by Alarcon, and she pulls in the rebound. Kaya Johnson will bring it up for the Dolphins. This is now Lambert on the wing. She crosses over left and finds Masinge in the corner. Back up top for Johnson. She gives it up to Alarcon. Back to the basket. Kick out for Lambert. Three-pointer. No good. And Alarcon nearly took it away from Tedesco. Lambert pulls in the rebound. A fresh 20-second shot clock for the Dolphins. LaFaro looks to drive. And she traveled. LaFaro didn't like the call. Hopkins will bring it up for the Mavericks. We approach 2.5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter. The Dolphins lead it by 1. Feed inside for Tedesco, and she can't finish off glass. Johnson up ahead for an open Alarcon. Her layup is up and good. Nice feed on the break to set up Alarcon for the easy 2. Hopkins is double-teamed on the outside. She gets away. Talib left open just inside of the arc. And Talib is 2 for 2. Johnson over to Alarcon, back over to Johnson. Johnson will look to drive baseline, and she throws one off the window, no good. Bender into the corner. Talib open for 3, and she is quickly 3 of 3. Mavericks back up by a pair. Masinge on the drive, and that's an easy 2 for Noemi and Masinge. Wall out to Talib. Into the corner for Hopkins. She was given some room. Now Bender will look to drive. Floater, no good. It's tipped in the air and rebounded by Alarcon. I mentioned earlier that Lizzie LaFaro had been delegated some of the point duties for the Dolphins. Kaya Johnson has brought it up the last few trips up the floor. This is Masinge left open. And she can't get it to go, but LaFaro has the offensive rebound. Lizzie goes back up and banks it in. Dolphins lead it 9-7. 5.5 to play in the opening quarter. Wall will use the screen from Tedesco. That's a tight window, and it's knocked away. Johnson uses the Alarcon screen and banks it in. A tough shot by Kaya Johnson, and the Dolphins lead it by 4. Hopkins back out to Bender. Wall, defended by Johnson. 15 on the shot clock. Talib, back up top. Bender will work against the Lambert, and she's fouled. Taysha Bender will head to the line for 2 shots on the other side of this short break. We have our first media timeout of the half, and it's a good start for the Dolphins. They lead it 11-7 with 4:52 remaining on the clock in the first quarter.
Car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4899.
Strong start for the Dolphins in the opening quarter. They lead it by 4 with 4:52 remaining in the opening period. For the College of Staten Island, they've started this game 5 of 9, 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. The Mavericks 3 of 7. They are also 1 of 2 from downtown. Dolphins hold an advantage on the glass, 6-2 in the early going. Dolphins have led for much of this opening quarter, nearly 3 minutes. Taysha Bender will look to chip into that lead as she heads to the line for 2 shots. We do have our secondary camera available to us for the second time this season here today. Here you get a close-up look at Bender attempting the second of 2 free throws. And she can't get it to go. 1 of 2 from the line. Dolphins' lead is 3 points. Johnson surveys as Dana Phelan has checked in for the first time for CSI. Lizzie LaFaro heads to the Dolphins bench. Phelan looks to drive baseline, and she banks one in off the window from a tough spot. As that pass is heaved up the floor for Bender, she was able to reel it in. Hopkins nearly lost it. Now Talib looks to drive. Kick out for Bender. Wall with 15 on the shot clock. Now Talib for Bender in the corner. Bender looks to drive. Pass fake. And she gets it to go. A friendly roll for Taysha Bender. The Dolphins bench wanted a travel. They did not get the call. The Dolphins lead remains 3 points. This is Lambert on the right wing. Over to Masinge. Johnson, defended by Hopkins, throws it away. Hopkins, cross court to Bender in the corner. Hopkins gets it back. Wall on the right wing gets it to Bender. Bender, floater, off glass, no good. Tedesco with the offensive rebound, can't convert the putback. Hopkins pulls it in, 15 on the shot clock. Bender open for 3, no good. And rebounded by Phelan. Johnson for Masinge. Back up top to Johnson. Now Phelan for 3. Splash. And the Dolphins lead it by 6. Dolphins now 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Hopkins uses the Tedesco screen. She looks to drive. Her layup no good. It's tipped away by Johnson and rebounded by Alarcon. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Lambert throws up an air ball. She wanted a whistle, didn't get it. Here comes Wall. Talib left open on the baseline. Count it, and 1. As Talib went down, Phelan picks up the personal. And Talib will head to the line for 1 more. Strong start in this game for Asia Talib. She already has 9 points. A chance to make it 10 from the free throw line. And the free throw is up and good. Gia Esposito into the game for the Dolphins along with Kyra Rose. Esposito off the handoff from Alarcon. Sends it to Phelan, open on the baseline. That shot short. Kelly Nudd into the game for Mercy College. Their first substitution of the game. Hopkins, defended closely by Rose, goes around the back and sends it into the corner for Nudd. Back up top for Wall, 12 on the shot clock. Talib. Inside for Tedesco, and she's fouled. Good ball movement by the Mavericks early in this game. And they head right back to the free throw line as Tedesco will shoot a pair from the stripe. Dolphins lead is 3 in the opening quarter. Tedesco awaiting 2 shots. as they're going to have one of the floor sweepers take care of a wet spot on the floor. Two shots for Tedesco. First is no good. And she gets the bounce on free throw number 2 to make this a 2-point game. Lizzie LaFaro back in for the Dolphins, replacing Kaya Johnson. Esposito assuming the point guard duties for the Dolphins as Rose picks up an offensive foul. That's the 4th team foul on Staten Island. Still none for the Mavericks in this opening quarter. Noemi Masinghe to the scorer's table for CSI. Kyla Nembach into the game for the Mavericks. She has it here. Drops it off to Wall. Wall looks to spin. She's double teamed and is called for traveling. Masinghe in for Rose for the Dolphins. 0. Kayla Halverson into the game for the Mavericks, replacing Katie Wall. .80 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. LaFaro has it on the left wing. Now Masinghe, top of the arc, gets it over to Phelan. Masinghe with a head fake, sends it back into the corner. Phelan thought about a 3. Masinghe didn't have to think about it, and that rattles out. And Esposito draws the foul. She grabbed the offensive rebound. Talib picks up her first personal. It's also the team's first. Masinghe looked to feed it inside, and there was nobody home on the receiving end of that pass. That turnover is number 5 for the Dolphins. Inside of 1 minute to play in the opening quarter. Mavericks take the 2-for-1 opportunity, but Nudd couldn't knock it down. Here comes Esposito. Up ahead to Phelan. Phelan for Alarcon. Now Esposito. Crossover to her left. Wanted Masinghe on the pass, and it was just a bit too high. Good look from Esposito to find the cutting Masinghe, but off target on the pass, and the Mavericks will have the final shot of the opening quarter if they want it. 24 seconds to play in quarter number 1. Dolphins look to double team Nembach. That's Nudd over to Talib. Back up top to Nudd. Feed inside for Tedesco. And she can't convert. Second attempt no good. And the third try goes down. Maria Tedesco for 2. And Esposito's heave is just a bit short, as that will do it for the opening quarter. Our score after 1, the Dolphins 16 and the Mavericks 16. When we come back, quarter number 2 from the College of Staten Island.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Quick basket for Mercy College to open up the second quarter as Kelly Nudd knocked down the mid-range shot. Esposito will try a three, and she banks it in. A look of disgust on the face of Esposito. I'm not sure if we caught that, but on the way back up the floor, she did not appear too pleased with herself after banking in that last triple. Dolphins go ahead by one. Talib for three. Short. Rebound brought in by Phelan. She was harassed. Gets it up to Alarcon. Alarcon to the rim, and her layup is a bit short as she got trapped underneath the rim there. Moving a bit too quickly up the floor with the defense closing in from behind. Talib back to the basket, and she can't get the bank shot to go. Tedesco has the rebound. Dembach well beyond the arc here. Gets a screen from Nudd. Feed for Tedesco out of a double. She finds the open shooter in the corner. That won't go for Halverson. Rebound by Nudd, and she puts it back up and in. Kelly Nudd gives the Mavericks the lead back as they go ahead by one. This is Masinghe on the left wing. Back to Esposito. Into the corner for Phelan. LaFaro looks to drive. Floater is good. Lizzie LaFaro for two. Dolphins back in front by one. Bounce pass inside for an open Tedesco. She's short. The putback is no good, and the rebound goes to Phelan. The Mavericks already with 7 offensive rebounds as LaFaro can't get it to go off the back rim. A good look inside for LaFaro there. Halverson for Talib. Into the corner. Nembach uses the screen. Gets rid of it for Nudd. She thought about a triple. Tedesco on the baseline. And a 3-second violation is called against Talib. New unit into the game for the Mavericks. 3 substitutions. Angelina Barrera into the game, along with Brianna Barnard. Sarah Hopkins also back in. This is Esposito on the right wing for three. Off the mark. Seven minutes to play in the second quarter. Dolphins with a 1-point lead. Hopkins surveys. That was Barrera giving it up for Halverson. Barnard against Masinghe, looking to drive. And she traveled. Lambert back in for the Dolphins, replacing LaFaro. Esposito continues to run the point for Staten Island off the bench. Johnson on the left wing. Gives it up to Masinghe. 15 to shoot. Masinghe gets it back. Alarcon in the corner, looks to drive. Her pass is tipped. 5 on the shot clock, and jump ball is called. Possession arrow favors the Dolphins, and they will inbound with 5 to shoot. 4 on the shot clock. The Dolphins may not realize it. Deep three. And Esposito gets the roll. Gia Esposito from way downtown as the shot clock expires. And the Dolphins lead it by 4. Hopkins with 15 on the shot clock. Now Nudd for Halverson. Halverson used the screen. This is Hopkins. Cross court for Nudd. Barnard with 3 on the shot clock. Hopkins with 1 to shoot, and she didn't get it off. Dolphins will make a substitution after forcing that turnover on the shot clock violation. Amaya Jenkins into the game for Staten Island. Masinghe heads to the CSI bench. 5.5 to go in the first half. Dolphins with a chance to match or surpass their largest lead here, and they will match it as Kaya Johnson banks that shot in. And the Dolphins now lead it by 6. That left-handed shot won't go inside for Nudd. Here come the Dolphins. Esposito wants it. And she traveled. .5:01 to play in quarter number 2, so we'll have to wait just a bit longer for our second quarter media timeout. Largest lead for the Dolphins is 6. The Mavericks have not led by more than 2 yet. Hopkins was open, gave it up, and that shot won't go for Bender. The Mavericks traded a good shot for a great shot. They often say the mid-range jumper, the lowest percentage shot in basketball. The Mavericks instead opting for the three-pointer on that last possession. As Esposito forced that pass, and it was stolen away. Here come the Mavericks. Bender to the basket. And a blocking foul is called. Bender will head to the line for 2 shots. Lizzie LaFaro will check back in for the Dolphins. Following this media timeout, our score with 4:28 on the clock in quarter number 2, Staten Island 26 and Mercy College 20.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we're back from the tank. Once again, this is Joe Foreman on the call for East Coast Conference women's basketball this evening. This game 1 of our doubleheader between the College of Staten Island and Mercy College. Taysha Bender at the line for the Mavericks, with her team trailing by 6. The first free throw was no good, and the second goes down. That makes it a 5-point game as the Mavericks look to press a bit. Jenkins was trapped, did a good job to get rid of it. Dolphins now look to gather themselves with 15 on the shot clock. Alarcon surveys the floor. Gets it to Jenkins with 8 to shoot. Jenkins looks up at the shot clock, looks to drive, and gets the backhand layup to go. Nice looking finish by Amaya Jenkins, and the Dolphins lead it by a game-high 7 points. Nudd couldn't finish there with the left. Johnson up ahead. LaFaro open. Floater is up and short. And losing her footing there was Barrera. She couldn't stay in bounds, and the Dolphins will maintain possession. Nudd heads to the bench for the Mavericks. Talib checks back in. A very short breather for Asia Talib, who got off to a red-hot start in this game. Mavericks have 21 points. Talib has 10 of those as the Dolphins turn it over, but Jenkins hustles back and forces a Mavericks turnover. Great hustle by the Dolphins freshman. And you know her bench loves to see that, as Jenkins did not give up on that play, was able to poke it away and force the turnover. Under 3.5 to play in the quarter, Jenkins is trapped along the sideline. She got rid of it for Masinghe. This is Lambert out to Masinghe. Masinghe spins and is fouled. Noemi and Masinghe to the line for 2 shots. Dolphins have a 7-point lead. And to this point, outside of the game against Wilmington, this is one of the better halves the Dolphins have played all season. Consistency from the opening jump through this point with 3 minutes to go until halftime. Masinghe's first free throw, no good. One more to come. And Masinghe goes 1 of 2 from the line. Kayla Halverson will check back in for the Mavericks. Asia Talib right back to the Mercy bench. Halverson over to Wall. Wall has not scored in this game. She has it now in the corner. Look to drive baseline. Good defense by Lambert. 8 on the shot clock. Halverson for Bender. Bender is fouled by Masinghe. Dolphins bench didn't like it. The crowd doesn't like it either, as you may or may not hear over my microphone. A new 20 seconds on the shot clock for Mercy College here, and they waste no time as Hopkins knocks down the corner 3. Mavericks back to within 5. Jenkins on the drive, had it poked away, and we'll head the other way, as they'll say Jenkins was last to touch it. Under 2.5 to play in the first half. Mavericks looking to chip into this Dolphins lead a bit more. Dolphins have led by as many as 8 points. Wall kicked out for Halverson. Wall with 8 on the shot clock sends it back to Halverson. Halverson is fouled on the drive, and she will head to the line for 2 shots. That team foul is number 3 on the Dolphins. They have 17 fouls in the game. 4 of those came in the first. Two shots for Halverson at the stripe. Chance to make this a 1-possession game. First is no good. Two minutes and 2 seconds on the clock in the second quarter. And Halverson's second free throw is good. timeout is called by the Mavericks bench. It will be a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here. As the Dolphins' lead has been trimmed down to 4 points. For the Dolphins in this first half, they have shot it at a 52% clip here in the first half. The Dolphins lead it by 4. The Mavericks have shot it at only 32% in the first half. 2 of 7 from downtown for Mercy College. The Dolphins 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. What has kept Mercy in this game has been the free throw attempts. The Mavericks 5 of 9 from the line. The Dolphins have attempted just 2 free throws. They are 1 of 2 from the stripe. The Dolphins hold a slight advantage on the glass, 16-14 on the boards. The Mavericks, however, have 7 offensive rebounds in the game, as opposed to just 3 for the Dolphins. Jenkins surveys and finds Phelan. Phelan over to Johnson. 15 on the shot clock. Alarcon left open in the corner. Declines to shoot the 3. That pass, a bullet reeled in by Jenkins. Her floater, no good off the front rim. And rebounded by Bender. Here comes Bender with a full head of steam. Out to Hopkins. Hopkins inside for Tedesco. And that's a good pass from Hopkins. That was a tight window. And Tedesco is back on the board with 2 more. Johnson finds Jenkins. Jenkins trapped, goes down, and she stepped out of bounds. I perhaps may have engaged the commentator's jinx once again, as the Dolphins were looking very good with about 3 minutes to play in this first half, and they've now seen their lead trimmed down to 2 points. That attempt no good from downtown by Bender. That would have given Mercy the lead. Here comes Johnson. Johnson looks to drive. She hangs and cannot hit. Johnson's done a nice job attacking the rim. Just couldn't convert on that attempt. As Wall is short. Tedesco on the rebound finds Halverson. Halverson drives to the rim. And she gets the layup to go as the Mavericks even up the score at 29 aside. The Dolphins have the final shot of the half. They have seen an 8-point lead disappear. The two teams even at 29. Johnson gets a screen from Alarcon. And Alarcon lost it, but it was last touched by the Mavericks with 4.4 on the clock in this first half. Nembach will check in for the Mavericks with 4.4 to play. Brianna Barnard will also check in, as the Mavericks are told they need to get to the center of the scorer's table in order to check in moving forward. Dolphins will inbound from the baseline. LaFaro will be the inbounder. And they find Alarcon. And once again, that was last touched by the Mavericks. Spectators don't like it, as they may check on that one over here. We'll see if we've got it. As they change the call. Now, I thought they had it right initially, as Hopkins will not get a shot off. And the first half comes to a close. Now, did they call a foul? As our engineering crew was about to take a halftime break, they may look at this one. And the half is over, and that is absolutely the right call. Now, we have it if they want to check, but I think they have it right. We'll take a look at it before halftime, as the Dolphins are getting out of here, so they are not going to look at it, it appears. Here's a quick look at it before we head to the halftime break. No question, she did not get it off. And that will bring us to halftime. Our score at the break is even at 29 per side. This is NCAA Division II women's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, a proud part of the ECC network.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels.
I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels.
I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from the tank. Once again, this is Joe Foreman on the call for CSI Sportsnet. The Dolphins and the Mavericks tied at 29 at the start of the third quarter. The Dolphins led this game 29-21. And from that point forward, the Mavericks went on an 8-0 run to wrap up the first half. Feed inside for Tedesco. Her pass into the corner was tipped, and it will stay Mavericks basketball. .16 to shoot for Mercy College. Bender gets it into Wall. Wall was held scoreless in the first half. See if the Mavericks look to get her going in half number 2. That's a risky pass inside. It split the Dolphins' defense, and Bender can't hit off the kick out. Talib with the rebound. Wall got it over to Hopkins. Hopkins is doubled. Talib back outside for Bender. 10 on the shot clock. Bender into the corner for Hopkins. Now 5 to shoot. Hopkins for Talib. Talib crosses over and drives. Pull up. Almost went down, and Talib was fouled. Talib finished the first half with 10 points. Hit her first 3 shots. It may have even been her first 4. She's now 4 of 6 from the field, and her first free throw is good. One more from the line. And Talib makes it 2 of 2. The Mavericks now lead it by 2. Feed for Alarcon from Johnson. Johnson wanted Alarcon to shoot. Lambert did shoot it. Alarcon gets the board, can't convert on the putback, and the Mavericks pull in the rebound. Here comes Hopkins. Hopkins with a nice move, kick out. Bender for Wall. Her three-pointer is short. Johnson has the board. Lambert over to Johnson. LaFaro to the basket, and she banks it in. Bender in the corner. Wall over to Hopkins, 15 on the shot clock. Hopkins picks up her dribble and finds Wall. Wall looks to drive. Kick out for Talib. That's a three-pointer, and that's good. Asia Talib from downtown yet again. That last Dolphins basket by LaFaro was CSI's first made field goal since 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. And there's another make as Kaya Johnson converts through the contact. Count it, and one. And Johnson will head to the line for one more. Alarcon heads to the bench for Staten Island. Kyra Rose checks in. And Wall was fouled along the baseline. 22 on the shot clock for Mercy College. They will inbound it from the baseline. Johnson could not convert on the free throw, which would have tied the game. Dolphins trail by 1. Talib gets it into Wall. She's well beyond the arc. Defended by LaFaro. Here comes Bender. Bender thought about the shot. Hopkins pulls from the corner, and she buries the 3. Sarah Hopkins from downtown. Dolphins now trail by 4 as Lambert's shot will not count. Dolphins will inbound with 24 on the shot clock. Lambert gets it to Masinge. She goes up quickly, and she gets the friendly roll. Dolphins back to within a pair. Talib directing traffic. This is Bender. Bender defended by Rose. Crosses over, and she was fouled. Good move there off the dribble by Bender. Bender will head to the line for 2 shots. She has 4 points in the game. Her first free throw is good. Both Bender and Tedesco now have 5. Hopkins has 6. Talib leading the way with 15. Mavericks now ahead by 4 after that pair of free throws. Lambert nearly had it taken away, and I believe jump ball was the call. Possession stays with the Dolphins. Still no Dolphin in double figures. LaFaro leads the way with 9. Masinge for Johnson. That pass was tipped by Wall. Lambert has it. Masinge looks to drive. Tough shot. Won't go. And Lambert pulls in the offensive board. Rose inside, and she's fouled. Kyra Rose will head to the line for 2 shots. Looking to keep the Dolphins close in this one. Both teams already with 3 fouls in the quarter. Still 6:22 on the clock in quarter number 3. First free throw for Rose rattles in. That point, first of the game for Kyra Rose. Second free throw is also good. Dolphins back to within 2 again. Talib looks to drive, finds Tedesco, and that's an easy 2 for Maria Tedesco. Mavericks have moved the ball very well in this game, have gotten a few easy looks under the basket and several open shots as Masinge was towing the line. That was a 2-pointer by Masinge. Bender. Left wing into the corner for Talib. Wall up top. Inside of 10 to shoot. Tedesco can't finish over LaFaro. Both players down to the floor. And possession goes to the Dolphins. Blocking foul called at the other end. LaFaro looks a bit shaken up for the Dolphins. Looked like her arm got trapped beneath Tedesco. She's still working on that shoulder. Dolphins will inbound with 25 on the shot clock. That team foul, number 4 on the Mavericks. The Dolphins 1 away from entering a bonus situation. Gia Esposito in, and that shot is in off the window for Noemi Masinge. Good-looking ball movement there from the Dolphins as they pick up the easy 2, and the Mavericks come right back with 2 more. These two teams going back and forth in this third quarter. It's been a high-scoring quarter so far. 14 for the Mavericks, 12 for the Dolphins. Just inside of 5 minutes to play. Masinghe left open. Can't connect from the mid-range. Here comes Bender back the other way. Bender over to Hopkins. She drives, can't finish, but draws the foul. That whistle came in late. If that's on Masinghe, that's her 4th. Rose has 2. No other Dolphin with more than 1. As we will head to a media timeout. So our score heading into this commercial break, Mercy 43, Staten Island 41.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it?
And we are back from the College of Staten Island, where the Dolphins now trail by 3. Sarah Hopkins goes 2 of 2 from the line. Mavericks now ahead by 4. That is their largest lead of this game. That ties their largest lead. They did lead by 4 earlier in the quarter. Esposito for 3, and that's way off. Esposito comes up with the steal. Esposito fakes the pass and was fouled. She will head to the line for 2 shots. Good effort by Esposito. Officially, Esposito 2 for 4 from downtown in this game. But one of those was banked in, and she was visibly disgusted with that attempt. The second came at the end of the shot clock, but we'll see if some free throws can get her going. And she goes 2 of 2 from the line. The Dolphins back to within a pair yet again. Dolphins have not led in this third quarter as we approach 4 minutes remaining in quarter number 3. Hopkins wanted Wall, nearly threw it away. 12 on the shot clock. Wall is fouled. And Rose will pick up the personal. That's the 5th Dolphins team foul, so both teams in the bonus for the remainder of this third quarter.
Dolphins foul, number 11, Kyra Rose, her 3rd, for team's 5th.
I mentioned it earlier. The Mavericks had attempted far more free throws than Staten Island for much of this game. That disparity hasn't gotten much closer. With these 2 free throws, Mercy will have 17 attempts from the line. The Dolphins will have just 7. For Katie Wall, that's her first basket of the game. She hasn't shot it much either. 0 for 4 from the field, 0 of 3 from downtown. There she goes 2 of 2 from the stripe. And she's on the board with 2 points. Rose up top. Weaving through traffic, had it poked away. Rose down to the floor. Alarcon wide open, mid-range is good. We mentioned Mercy's leading scorer, quiet, that being Katie Wall. Jenelise Alarcon has just 4 for the Dolphins as CSI forces a turnover. Here comes Rose. Esposito into the corner. Phelan open. No good. Rose has the rebound. And there's a nice feed for Esposito, who lays it in for 2. The Dolphins now utilizing some good ball movement. Esposito getting energized at the defensive end of the floor. Score even at 47. This is Wall. 12 on the shot clock. Wall nearly got tripped up, finds Hopkins open, and Hopkins knocks down another 3. These two teams going back and forth in this third quarter. Hopkins is now 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. Rose for Esposito. Esposito crosses over, finds Lambert, and that was tipped at the last moment by Wall. The Fanatics seated behind the Dolphins bench want to know what Wall has against that water cooler over there in the corner. Of course, CSI Baseball always has a presence here at Dolphins home games. And we have a foul called that will send the Dolphins right back to the free throw line. Ashley Lambert will shoot 2 after that reach in by Mercy. That's Katie Wall's 3rd personal. Talib has 3. Wall has 3. And for the Dolphins, both Rose and Masinge have 3. So foul's definitely an issue. As Lambert hits the free throw. Lambert 2 of 2 from the line. That makes this a 1-point game. So we have an offensive foul called underneath. Now, I'm consulting both our live stats and the live scoreboard. And there's definitely a scoring error in the live stats that we'll have to fix. We'll get to that following this quarter. But the score is 50-49, and Esposito is short on the 3. Here comes Wall, back the other way, looking to push. Hopkins left open. Another 3 is up. No good. Tedesco with the offensive rebound, can't put it back in. Another offensive board for Tedesco in this game as Rose gets the feed from Esposito. Esposito now looks to drive off the kick out. The floater off the back iron, no good. Alarcon was stripped and it's stolen. Here comes Wall off the outlet pass. Her layup, no good. Nutt is stripped, and the Dolphins take it away. Rose mishandled that pass. She looks to drive. Her layup is no good, but she draws the foul, and the Dolphins will head back to the free throw line for 2 more. Fast-paced, back-and-forth action in this third quarter. Right now, the score in the quarter, 21-20 in favor of the Mavericks. We still have 70 seconds to play in quarter number 3 with both teams in the bonus. First free throw by Rose is good. Score now knotted up at 50. And Rose is short, but Alarcon has the offensive board. Jump ball is called, and the possession arrow favors the Mavericks. Each and every women's basketball game this season here at the Tank has been close. All of them have come down to the wire. This is home game 5 for CSI women's basketball. They have won one of the first 4 at home. The team comes in with 2 victories on the season as Bender can't finish, and Tedesco swatted that out of bounds. Under a minute to play in this third quarter. Dolphins can go 2 for 1 if they like. Esposito continues to bring the ball up for Staten Island. This is Lambert. She gives it up to LaFaro. Now Alarcon. Alarcon crosses over. She spins and kicks out. 9 to shoot, and that rattles out for Esposito. Bender went down, and timeout is called by the Mavericks bench. And with that timeout, we'll step aside and take a short break. Our score, with 22 seconds remaining in the quarter, knotted up at 50. And we are back from the tank where the Dolphins and the Mavericks are tied at 50. Both teams with 21 points in this third quarter after each scored only 29 in the first half. And a chance for more here before the quarter comes to a close. The Mavericks were forced to call a timeout after Taysha Bender went down to the floor, lost her footing, and the Mavericks bench wisely called timeout. It also gave them a chance to diagram something in these final 16 seconds. Tedesco on the left wing sent it into the corner. Bender up top. Hopkins inside for Nudd. Nudd with a left-handed layup. It won't go. And that will be Dolphins basketball. And Lizzie LaFaro is clearly not right. Definitely having some issues with one of her arms. After going down to the floor in an effort to grab a rebound, her arm got pinned underneath one of the Mavericks players. I believe it was Tedesco. And you can see she's clearly not right. But that will do it for quarter number 3 and through 3. We are tied at 50, the conclusion of this NCAA Division II women's basketball matchup after this break.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road chip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
And we're back from the College of Staten Island, where the Dolphins and the Mavericks are tied at 50. Dolphins possess it first in the final quarter as there's a big crossover from Masinge, but she couldn't finish the lay-in. Bender over to Hopkins, left open again, and she can't make the Dolphins pay. Hopkins now 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. This is Lambert. Over to Phelan. Now Masinge. 15 on the shot clock. Alarcon picks up her dribble. Johnson will look to drive. Off the turnaround, can't get the bank shot to go. But Kaya grabs her own miss, can't finish again. Masinge there for the follow, and she converts. Second chance points put the Dolphins ahead by a pair here. And that shot won't go for Tedesco. The Dolphins with 10 offensive rebounds in the game. The Mavericks have had their share as well. They have 11. And a double dribble is called against Lambert. Both teams with an even 8 second chance points. That turnover for the Dolphins, number 14. Mavericks thus far have 10 giveaways. Dolphins have scored 13 points off the Mercy turnovers. The Mavericks just 6 off of Staten Island turnovers. So the Dolphins hold a distinct advantage there. As Phelan tipped it and comes away with the steal. Lambert fakes and can't bank it in. Lambert had a great opportunity there from in close. Off the Mavericks turnover, that was number 11 for Mercy. Bender over to Talib. She was on the bench with 3 fouls. She receives this entry pass on the baseline. Now Hopkins, 8 on the shot clock. Bender for 3. No good. And Johnson tips the rebound into the Mavericks bench. So the Mavericks will get a fresh 20 seconds and another chance to tie this score or take the lead. Hopkins over to Nudd. This is Talib, 15 to shoot. Hopkins defended well by Phelan. Nudd has 7 to shoot. Now Hopkins. Back to Nudd into the corner. Bender was open, instead looks to drive, and she gets the floater to go down as the shot clock expires. Taysha Bender with a big 2 points to even up the score at 52. Phelan for 3. Too strong. And it will be Mavericks basketball as Kyra Rose will check back in for Staten Island. Katie Wall into the game for the Mavericks. Just over 7 minutes to play in the final quarter. This is Wall on the drive to the rim, and that's an easy 2 for Katie Wall. Mavericks back in front by a pair. They still have not led by more than 4. Phelan. Inside to Rose, and there's an easy 2 for the Dolphins. The CSI ball movement in the second half has been very strong. Both teams have given one another problems with their ball movement in this game. Talib. And if that foul is against Rose, that's number 4. And that is 4 on Kyra Rose. We're still awaiting an official announcement on the foul. Do believe it was against Rose. 15 to shoot for the Mavericks. Talib up top for Bender. Bender with a quick first step, and she was rejected. Possession will stay with Mercy. And with 4 fouls, Rose will head to the bench. Nine on the shot clock for Mercy here. Inbound goes to Wall. 5 to shoot. And Wall is rejected by Alarcon. 2 blocks, 1 on each of the last 2 Mavericks possessions. Johnson for Phelan. Phelan gets a screen from Alarcon. Now Johnson. 12 on the shot clock. Alarcon is left open, and her mid-range shot is good. And that's a shot Alarcon has to take if the Mavericks will give it to her, and that's the second time they've left her open from the mid-range. Wall. Looking for somewhere to go with it, finds Bender. Hopkins for Wall. Wall spins. Kick out. Hopkins looks to drive. Pass fake and a layup. Results in a foul call. Neither team able to gain an advantage here in this fourth quarter, or really at all in the second half. The lead for both sides has not exceeded 4 points here in half number 2. Dolphins foul called against Kaya Johnson, her second, also the team's second, and that sends Sarah Hopkins to the line for 2 shots with a chance to tie the score. First free throw is good. Second free throw from Hopkins rattles out. LaFaro fights for the rebound. She's got it. Here comes LaFaro. All the way to the basket, and she draws a foul. That will send LaFaro to the line for 2 shots. LaFaro with 9 points, Esposito with 10, Masinge with 11 for the Dolphins. Of those 3 players, 2 on the floor right now. Those being LaFaro and Esposito. Masinge on the bench right now with 3 fouls. And LaFaro's first free throw is good. And LaFaro goes 2 of 2 from the line. She came in just 7 of 12 from the stripe. Dolphins lead by 3. Hopkins over to Talib inside. Barrera can't get it to go. The follow is no good. The third try goes down through the contact and one. And just like that, the Mavericks have a chance to even up the score. And with that, we will head into a media timeout with the Dolphins clinging to a 1-point lead. Our score, Staten Island 58, Mercy College 57.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
And we are back from the tank. Once again, this is Joe Foreman on the call for CSI Dolphins women's basketball on the ECC network. And the Dolphins are clinging to a late lead in the fourth quarter. That lead very much in jeopardy right now, as Angelina Barrera heads to the line for 1 shot with a chance to even up the score at 58. Dolphins have led by as many as 8 points in this game. The lead right now stands at just 1. For CSI, LaFaro has 11. Masinge has 11. Esposito has 10. For the Mavericks, Talib has 15. Hopkins has 12. And Bender has 10. That free throw off back iron and rebounded by Talib. Hopkins for Bender. She was left open, declines to shoot the 3. Feed inside. Barrera off the window and in. The Mavericks have taken the lead back. 59-50 our score. Just over 4.5 to play. This is Phelan. Over to Esposito. Esposito crosses over. LaFaro for 3. Splash! And Lizzie LaFaro continues to be money from 3-point range. She is nearing 60% on the season from downtown as she commits the foul right there. And that will send Sarah Hopkins to the line for 2 shots. LaFaro in this game, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. She is now 11 of 17 on the season from distance. First free throw off the back rim, no good by Sarah Hopkins. Second free throw rattles in. Once again, we have a 1-point game. Amaya Jenkins in for the Dolphins. Kyra Rose back in for the Dolphins. 17 on the shot clock. And LaFaro stepped out of bounds. Masinge will head back in for the Dolphins. Alarcon to the bench. .358 remaining in the fourth quarter as the men's basketball team from Mercy College is beginning to assemble next to the Mavericks bench. They'll take in the final 4 minutes courtside. Men's basketball up next. Dolphins taking on the Mavericks. Wall's floater, no good. And a big rebound there by Esposito, who was at a big disadvantage in terms of size on the inside. Deep three. Splash! And G-Money connects from downtown, giving the Dolphins another 4-point lead. That was a long three-pointer by Esposito. 64-60 Staten Island. Talib inside. Barrera kicks out. Bender left open. And she can't connect from 3. Here comes Esposito. She attacks the basket and had it knocked away. It will stay Dolphins basketball. 3:03 on the clock. And timeout has been called by the Dolphins. With that, we'll step aside and take a short break. Our score with just over 3 minutes to play. Staten Island 64, Mercy College 60.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And as we return to action, the Dolphins couldn't get the inbound pass in. I thought the signal was offensive foul, hence my silence, but instead it was a 5-second violation, or perhaps that was a foul, and Kyra Rose picked up her 5th. We're still waiting for an official announcement, but I believe Kyra Rose just picked up foul number 5. The Dolphins already have 5 team fouls. Their lead is 4 points. Bender had that pass knocked down. 18 on the shot clock. Wall back out to Bender. Bender for Talib. Dolphins not allowing anything in the lane as Alarcon went down to the floor. Barrera kicks out. 5 to shoot. Bender. Left-handed floater. Way short. And the Dolphins come up with the rebound. CSI with a chance to make this a 6 or 7 point game. And Esposito is fouled. That's just the second team foul for the Mavericks. They still have a couple more to give. Those could be big over the final 2 minutes and 17 seconds. LaFaro will inbound from the baseline. She finds Alarcon. Tough shot goes down. Jannalise Alarcon with a big basket to make it a 6-point Staten Island lead. Alarcon now has 8. Hopkins around the back, defended by LaFaro. Ten to shoot. The Mavericks stuck on the outside. Barrera, kick out. Wall for 3. No good. And the Mavericks grab the offensive rebound. Wall for Hopkins. Kick out for Nudd. She's open for 3, and she knocks it down. 3-point game as Kelly Nudd hits the triple. Timeout Staten Island with 1:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. What a back-and-forth game this has been, and we will stay right here as the Dolphins call timeout with 1:36 remaining in the game. The Dolphins just need to score to keep this a 2-possession game. The Mavericks are looking for a big stop on the next trip down the floor for the Dolphins. Right now, Lizzie LaFaro leads the Dolphins in scoring for the second consecutive game. She has 14. Gia Esposito has 13. She has played just 18 minutes. Kaya Johnson was ready to check in following that timeout called by the Dolphins. And I'm getting communication from across the way. They might be listening in from the other side. Nonetheless, we have just over 90 seconds left to play. I think they're listening to me on a phone right now. 96 seconds to play. Dolphins lead is 3. Johnson brings it up. Jenkins back in for Staten Island as well. LaFaro to the bench. Masinge back in for the Dolphins. 12 to shoot. Masinge to the rim, and she draws a foul. Talib didn't like the call, voicing her displeasure with the official as Masinge heads to the line for 2 big free throws. Masinge on the year, just 11 of 20 from the line. She needs just one of these to make this a 2-possession game, and that won't go. First free throw, no good. One more for Masinge from the line. And the second free throw won't go. It's tipped by Talib and saved. A huge save there by Talib. It's a 1-possession game. Nudd is wide open, and she banks it in. A breakdown there by the Dolphins, as all of the Mavericks weren't even back at the offensive end. It's a 1-point Staten Island lead, under a minute to play. Masinge will use the Alarcon screen. Now Johnson, 12 on the shot clock. Esposito looks to drive, picks up her dribble. Alarcon, corner 3, splash! And the Dolphins lead by 4. Huge 3 by Jannalise Alarcon. Timeout Mavericks. And Alarcon has put the Dolphins ahead by 4. 37.9 to play as Jannalise Alarcon comes up huge in the closing seconds. If there's one shooter the Mavericks may have been content to leave open, it's Alarcon, who typically doesn't attempt many threes. Just 1 of 5 on the season coming in, but Alarcon hits a huge shot for Staten Island, and the Dolphins' lead is now 4. With that last make, Alarcon now has 11 points. Dolphins need one more key stop to close out this win. And then we'll have to hit some free throws, certainly. But if the Dolphins can come up with a stop on this possession, They put themselves in a great position to close out their third straight win. Five on the floor for the Dolphins. Jenkins, Johnson, Esposito, Masinghe, and Alarcon. Nudd, Bender, Tedesco, Wall, and Halverson in the game for Mercy. The Mavericks will inbound from right next to their own bench. They had a chance to diagram something during that timeout. They would love to get a quick basket if they can. Bender on the handoff from Tedesco. Gets it to Nudd, who drives baseline. Nudd throws up a wild shot. She was fouled. And that will stop the clock at 27.8. Kelly Nudd will head to the line for 2 shots with a chance to make this a one-possession game. For Masinghe, that's her 4th personal. First free throw for Nudd is good. (69-67) our score, as the clock is going to have to be reset. And I'm going to have to step aside for a brief moment and get that clock issue sorted out. So let me take a look at our replay desk here. Some time came off the clock. We'll see if they get it taken care of without me. I'm trying to take a look and see how much time should be on the clock. And we're going to have to cut this in. So we apologize. We're doing some bonus work here at the commentary desk. Looks like they got it. So right here, some extra time came off, but it looks like they fixed it. They took care of that. Officially 28.1 on the clock. Dolphins inbound. Mavericks do have to foul here. Masinghe out to Johnson. And a foul was finally called. 69-67 the score. The Mavericks still have one more foul to give. And they put the Dolphins in a tough spot here. An inbound from the baseline. Not the best position to be in here. Not always easy to get it in. Dolphins do have timeouts if they needed them. As Masinghe gets it to Jenkins. Now Esposito for Alarcon. Back to Esposito. And she was fouled. No basket. And Gia Esposito will head to the line for 2 with a chance to make this a 4-point game. The Mavericks are out of timeouts. If the Dolphins go ahead by 4 here, Mercy gets put in a very tough spot. Maria Tedesco has just fouled out. She picks up number 5. That's a big loss for the Mavericks on the glass. Tedesco had a nice game. Shot only 3 of 11, but was a major factor on the glass. 9 rebounds, 6 of those offensive, as Esposito hits the free throw. Second free throw, no good. The Mavericks have 10 seconds. And the Dolphins steal it. And Johnson is fouled with 2.9 remaining. The Mavericks didn't appear to have much of a plan there. After they got the rebound, they were kind of meandering around. players jogging up the floor didn't leave anywhere to go with the ball. And it was thrown away straight into the arms of Kaya Johnson. One free throw ends this game, and that will do it. As the Dolphins make it a 2-possession game, they lead by 4. And for the College of Staten Island, they will win their 3rd straight, their 2nd straight on their home floor, and will pull to within 1 game of the 500 mark, as that's another turnover. And that will officially bring this game to a close. Our final score, CSI 71, Mercy College 57. I'm going to step aside off headset for just a moment. When you hear from me again, we will be joined by our TLC Physical Therapy Player of the Game, Gia Esposito.
How are you?
How are you, Gia? You're our TLC Physical Therapy Player of the Game. Congratulations. Big effort for you off the bench tonight. What was the key to your success?
Probably my teammates. I mean, I went through a pretty rough start this season, starting with preseason with injuries, concussion, sickness, all of that. And they just pushed me to get better. I only had like 2-3 practices under my belt before this, so they pushed me to be the best and have confidence in myself.
Now, you had quite the look of disgust after that first three-pointer, and we had the camera on you as you headed up the floor, so everyone at home got a good look at it. Did that shot help get you going? Was it the buzzer beater at the end of the shot clock?
I'm going to say it definitely helped because usually I get in my head, but I told myself, I'm like, listen, positive thoughts, be kind to yourself, like Coach Kelsey told me. Just got to lock it and keep shooting because Coach gives me the green light for a reason.
3rd win in a row for the team. What has been the key to the team's success this last 3 games? All victories. You're going for one more in your next game here on your home floor.
Probably just pushing each other in practice. I mean, we try our best to go 110%, and it feels, we just have fun with it. You see us dancing during pregame warm-ups. We just have as much fun as we can while also pushing ourselves and trying to get a win as much as possible. We're trying to keep this streak going.
Well, I know Nick was unhappy that he couldn't be here for it, but Gia, thanks for joining us. I know he wanted to be a part of this interview. Gia Esposito, our TLC Physical Therapy Player of the Game. The Dolphins win their 3rd straight over conference rival Mercy College. Special thank you to Gia Esposito for joining us and for TLC Physical Therapy for sponsoring our Player of the Game during each and every Dolphins home game. The Dolphins have now won 3 straight. They will go for 4 in a row this weekend on the road. They will be back on their home floor next week. I mistakenly said they'll go for 1 more in their next game. Their next game will be on the road this weekend. The Dolphins back home next Tuesday against the University of the District of Columbia. So if you are tuning in just for women's basketball, we'll see you again here on CSI Sportsnet on Tuesday. But of course, we encourage everyone to stay tuned for the men's basketball matchup coming up next. Dolphins and the Mavericks, Game 2 of our conference doubleheader on the other side of about a 30-minute break here on the ECC Network. This has been Joe Foreman, and from all of us here at the College of Staten Island, thank you for watching. Men's basketball coming up next.